Hello, guys and gals, and welcome to another episode of the Red, White, and the Blues podcast. I'm Daniel, and I am, as you can tell probably by now, flying solo dolo tonight. Jason could not be here, but I feel like with this monumental performance today, in, the story of Chelsea season in a match in 90 minutes, well, a little more than 90, 110. This match was today. What a performance. So we're just going to dive into things. So just sit right back. I've got my whiskey, drinking a little early times. Just dropped it. It's sweating. We're all good. Got a little early times in the jar tonight. So y'all just sit back. Let's have some conversations about this performance today and see where things go. So, I mean, where else do we start but with the man himself? The man, the myth, the legend, Cole Palmer. A freaking hat trick tonight. Just over the top performance from him, a penalty and two penalties, and a goal that ricochets off a United player at the end. What a performance by Cole Palmer tonight. This kid is single-handedly saving Pochettino's job. He's dragging Chelsea across the finish line, possibly trying to drag Chelsea into Europe next season. Because if it wasn't for Cole Palmer right now, Chelsea would be in a relegation battle. If you haven't checked out our blog, check our blog out. It's Red, White, and Blues FC. We're at Substack. Check us out there. Wrote an article this week and did a little research on the whole Cole Palmer thing with Chelsea and how much of an impact he's had. And it turns out it's a pretty significant impact. If you break it down, excluding today's match, but if we can include it if you want to, Cole Palmer is single-handedly responsible for 19 points at Chelsea this year, all by himself, where he has either got the game-winning goal, got the game-winning assist, whatever it may be. Some games it's the game-winning goal and the game-winning assist. Multiple goals, multiple assist matches where he has secured Chelsea 3 points or a draw or 1 point. But so it comes down to the fact that he's responsible for 19 points. As of now, he's responsible for 22 after today because three of our 4 goals attributed to Cole Palmer. So there's that. Responsible for 22 points by himself. If you take away it was 19 before this match, say we had 40, take it away, we would have been 17th place, roughly, battling relegation. Somewhere around there, give or take, because there are other extenuating circumstances that happen in every match. But the point is, we would be battling relegation right now if it was not for Cole Palmer and what he has done this year. The kid is simply amazing. He has taken over Chelsea. He is Chelsea at this point in time. We really don't have anybody else that is up to his standards. The kid is 16 goals now in the Premier League, only 2 behind Haaland, second place in the Golden Boot race. Has more goal contributions than Haaland, goals and assists. So contributions. So the kid, in all honesty, you can make a case, and we'll probably do this more so over the next few weeks as the season winds down and we really truly see how Palmer finishes and everything. You could probably make a case for Palmer being player of the year in the Premier League this year. I mean, literally, if it was not for Palmer, where would Chelsea be? That's the question that you ask. It is. Where would Chelsea have been without Palmer tonight? Would have been a 3-1 defeat. So without Cole Palmer tonight. So there's that. Palmer has, just brilliant on the ball. Made Delot look like a idiot on multiple occasions tonight. Just did him dirty, did him in. So I think that's where you start with this match. I don't want that's the thing. Like this match, it had so many ups and downs. From Chelsea starting off the first 30 minutes playing brilliant football, 30 minutes, controlled the match, did everything right, and going up 2-0, 2-0, having that kind of lead, having that kind of confidence, growing into the game. And then Gallagher gets a goal. I mean, look, I think it's one of those things. If Gallagher scores a goal, we're going to have a good night. Like, if Gallagher scores, it's going to be a good day. I just feel that way because Gallagher he makes contributions in other ways, but he's lost his shooting boots this year. I think that's his 5th goal this season. So he doesn't have those boots this year, but so when he scores, he's adding something that normally doesn't get added to the team, which is what we need in this situation. So got that. Then Palmer, of course, with the penalty after that, just ice cold, center nine the wrong way. Is what it is. First one, definitely a penalty. Second one, you can make an argument that it might not have been a penalty. I'm a Chelsea fan. I'm going to say it was. I'm going to say he got clipped in the shoe. Maybe he did. Maybe he didn't. I don't know. It was soft. I agree. But it was given as a penalty. Really thought we were going to get screwed when I heard Coot was on the old VAR because Coot and Chelsea don't get along. The old David Coot likes to screw us quite a bit. So was totally expecting the penalty to get called back there at the end. But it didn't. And it stood. And Palmer finished it off. But the first 30 minutes of that match was some of the best football I think Chelsea's played. And then on top of that, we were up 2-0, and then DCC then misses an open header on goal, which would have made it 3-0, and he's usually pretty decent around goal with his head, so that was sort of a shocker that he missed it, such a wide open header. So that was a little bit shocking, but nonetheless. And then everything just flips on a dime in typical Chelsea fashion. Casado, don't know what he's trying to do. Just play the ball back to your keeper in that situation. Tries to square the ball up to Badiashile and just overhits it. And it didn't look like Badiashile was really ready for the ball either. So they get it, go in, score. And then it was just more terrible defending right after that. Bruno Fernandes, the biggest bitch crybaby that there is in the Premier League, cannot stand him. Never seen, between him and Harry Maguire, I've never seen two grown men cry so much about calls in a match that don't go their way. My goodness, every time a call went against United, they were crying, whining to the referee. Bruno's on the ground, rolling around, hitting the ground, throwing his little hissy fits that he always does. What a joy that is to watch. I'm glad I'm not a United fan, so I don't have to put up with that crap every week. But needless to say, he got free at the back post. I don't know. It was a counter off our corner, so Kukure ended up on the right side. I don't know where Gusto was. Badiashile trying to mark two people with the back post, couldn't, and just the ball in, and Bruno just scored. A good footballer. Respect Bruno as a footballer. Don't respect him as a person. Just put it that way. I think you can separate those two. But then halftime came, and of course, most Chelsea fans are like, can we just not let Poch talk to the team at halftime? Because we're going to come out and shit the bed in the second half and suck, and it's just going to be more, after we've already blown a 2-0 lead. And then sure enough, we come out and, second half was, it was just a track meet. It was just, there was no midfield. There was just get the ball to somebody and let them run down the pitch and score. We would take a shot on goal, they would counter. And this went back and forth for 20 minutes. And, then eventually we do get hit on the counter and they score. Petrovic got caught in no man's land. He didn't make his mind up soon enough. He should have gotten out there quicker to the ball, or he should have just stayed on his line. It's on him, I think, a good bit of it. So, yeah, got called out, no man's land. Petrovic didn't look good today in goal. So, more worrying concerns back there with Petrovic. Maybe he can improve over the season. Or maybe Slonina's the option. I don't know. I'm just saying. I know Bob's not the option. I know Bob's not the answering goalkeeper for Chelsea in the future. But, needless to say, yeah. So that happened. So then it's 3-2, and it takes us to the 100 and whatever minute. I don't remember when we got that 109th minute when we got the penalty. I guess weak call maybe, but hey, Madueke does what Madueke does, and that's take on defenders and goes to the goal. Something that I know we've talked about on this podcast, Jason and I've talked about on this podcast quite a bit, that we just need that We need somebody that is not scared to take on defenders, actually dribble around defenders and get into the box and create those chances. Madueke is that player for us. Mudryk tends to overrun the ball. Sterling dribbles into the other team. Palmer will do it, but I think Madueke is probably the best at taking on defenders one-on-one on the team. He does a great job at it, and he did it tonight, and he got something from it. He didn't score the goal, but he drew a penalty, which led to Cole Palmer scoring a goal, which then led to us attacking and getting another corner. So I don't know. It was the emotional swing in this game was from, oh, look at Chelsea. Look at what they're doing. We're doing fantastic. First 30 minutes of the match. We're on fire. Yes, this is the Chelsea I've been waiting to see play all year. Poch finally, they're doing good. They're doing good. Yes, put in the performance. To then you get to halftime. You're like, fire Poch. Get rid of Poch. How can you not protect a 2-0 lead? Should be up 3-0, and Poch is blowing it. And then United score. And then all the wheels are just completely off the bus at this point in time. I think it on X, all hell is breaking loose. Players, Poch, everybody under the bus. It is just crazy. And then the rallying cry seemed to be the one thing that united everybody was about the 85th minute. Mason Mount comes on, and not too long after he comes on, he decides he wants to beef with Enzo. Now, there are some reporters for Chelsea that have tweeted out or X'd out, Z'd, whatever the hell you do these days, that, shame on Enzo Fernandez for getting in Mason Mount's face. Shame on him for that horrid thing you did. But if you look at it, Enzo was just trying to clear the ball. Mount's the one that got in his face and then shoved Enzo and then told him to look at the scoreboard. But that seemed to be sort of the spark that started the comeback, that sort of gave us a little bit of confidence. Like, okay, if this schmuck who slacked Chelsea off that thinks he, is something that, he was too good to play for Chelsea, whatever reason you want to believe for Mason, I think, both sides are at fault. I don't think Mason's 100% to blame. I don't think Clearly's 100% to blame. Everybody wants to blame one side or the other. Fault usually is 50-50. So they both are at fault for Mason leaving the club. But I think Mason has made his intentions clear that he wanted to leave. And then Ten Hag comes out this week and says he wanted to leave the club, and that's why he's at United. So, I tend to believe maybe a little bit more of the fault is on Mason than it was on Clearlake. So, but with all that said, it doesn't really matter whose fault it was. He got booed when he came on. Some people think he should have been booed. Some people think he shouldn't have been booed. Personally, I like the kid that held the Judas shirt up in the crowd. I don't mind booing him. That happens. Our players get booed all the time when they go to other stadiums. I think the most obvious example of this, and one that is just the funniest one to me, was whenever we would go to Tottenham. And it was only Tottenham that I noticed this. It was only ever Tottenham with their stupid stadium, their stupid fans. And Marcus Alonso would be constantly booed. Every time he touched the ball, every time he went to Tottenham, he was booed. I think it was one of those things. But you boo some players. A lot of Chelsea fans feel betrayed by Mount. I think they have the right to feel that way. And they booed him. We've been talking about booing a lot on this podcast lately. Completely fine. Express yourself, fans. Do what you want to do. Some people are like, oh, he's a two-time, player who won the Champions League with us. Guess what? In one season, Cole Palmer has more goals and assist contributions to Chelsea as a club than Mason Mount did in his entire career here. He wasn't that great as people make him out to be. He was not. I think he has one goal against top 6 clubs. Like, he is not the end-all, be-all. No player is bigger than the club. Cole Palmer is not bigger than this club. There's rumors floating around now that he's going to demand to be sold if we don't make it to Europe next year. Okay, fine. No player's bigger than the club. Do I want Cole Palmer to leave? Hell no, I don't want Cole Palmer to leave. But no one player's bigger than the club. So Mason got on his high horse. He left. He's gone. Got booed. No problem with it. We move on. Enzo lets him know who's the chairman of Stamford Bridge now. Gets in his face a little bit. It seemed to maybe spark the team a little bit. And lo and behold, we go down and we score. We go down there. We get the penalty with Madueke, and then United kick the ball off. They come down and try to attack us. For some reason, their fans didn't want them to attack us. Saw that on stream today. That was a little weird. Like, you just want your team to sit back and play for a draw. Bunch of pansies. Okay, sure. They wouldn't attack. They went for the win. That's what you should be doing. Don't play pansy ball. You got counterattack. So what? It is. It's the game of football. It's life. Sometimes you win. Sometimes you lose. At least in football, you can draw. But, whatever. So Enzo sort of initiated the break and got the ball ahead. Sterling passed it back out to Chuck. Chuck takes a shot, gets deflected, goes out. And then I believe it was Enzo again who takes the corner super quick and plays it to Palmer. And lo and behold, Mr. Judas himself can't close out Palmer fast enough because he wasn't paying attention because of the quick corner. And Palmer puts it in the back of the net. A little help, from the defender. Bounced off him. Ball was going into goal regardless. But it did. It went in. So, hey, we got it. Got the goal. Is what it is. Done deal. 4-3. Stamford Bridge erupts. People go nuts. Probably the most emotion I've seen Pot show since he's been here at the club. Was glad to see that. I don't really think this changes the narrative around Pot. I don't think, there was literally, I would say the same thing if I was a United fan right now. There was no football played in the second half. There was none. It was just like a rec league out there. It was, let's see who can go up and down the pitch the fastest and who can get the shot on goal, and then we're going to parry the ball to the other side and see if you can get a goal. And it's just back and forth. There was no midfield connections. There was no defense being played. It was more or less just target practice and who could get in the most shots and who could get the most shots on target. I think we were the more of the aggressor in that situation. Chelsea was. I think stats definitely show that by our shots on goal, by the fact that we had more shots on target, we had more shots overall than United did. They definitely set up in more of that counter-attacking phase of it. But I definitely think that Chelsea was definitely more, despite what Ten Hag said after the match, they deserved to win the match. Every facet of that match, neither team defended. Let's just throw that out there. So you can't say defended. Both teams had moments of brilliance on the pitch, and both teams had moments of stupidity on the pitch. They didn't deserve to win the match any more than Chelsea deserved to win the match. If you look at the statistics, Chelsea dominated that match. It was not even close if you're just going based off the stats. But the stats aren't everything. You gotta look at the eye test, and there were parts of that match where United definitely controlled the match and definitely had their way with us. But there's no way you should be able to sit there with a straight face and say you deserve to win. You don't deserve to win anything that you don't really win. It's just like the made up statistics that we've been talking about at Chelsea. You deserve nothing. This is not a participation trophy league, Ten Hag. This is a Premier League. You win what you win, you lose what you lose, you draw what you draw. We deserve to win at Burnley, but we didn't. We drew. You're not going to hear me sit here and say that. We deserve the results that we got. You deserve the results that you got. Suck it up, Buttercup, and move on to your next match because you didn't deserve to win today. You got outplayed. You got outhearted in the end by Cole Palmer. So just an amazing comeback. Just the roller coaster of emotions from being on a high to being everybody melting down, Poch out, Poch this, players that, to then in the end, the elation and the joy. And just that moment that can bring everybody together at the end of a match is what makes football so damn special. Is that moment where one player can just take over a match and your team can just bring you so much joy, and they can show that they do have fight and that they do have heart, and they just have to put it together on a consistent basis. And that is the biggest thing with this team, is consistency. That is what this Chelsea team lacks. Because we had the Burnley shit show earlier from the weekend. We come up, we show up and we play against United. First time we've beaten them since 2017? Like, it's just a crazy stat. Craziness that we have not beaten United since 2017. Get that monkey off our back. So we're rocking, we're rolling, we're ready to go. But now you've got to improve on that. You've got to improve on that stat. 2017. Okay, we got that monkey off our back. Now we're moving on. You got to put the match behind you. Got Sheffield United this weekend. I don't even want to talk about that match because if Chelsea holds true to what Chelsea's been doing this year, it's not going to be pretty. We're all going to be in the mud again, and it's just going to suck. But I want to enjoy this moment and what I saw from these players today, that they didn't give up in their celebration whenever Palmer scored that goal at the end of the match. Like, just the way that he took it in and they just embraced him. The players coming off the bench. It's great to see that, even though we have our issues with a lot of these players as fans. We do. And a lot of us talk about how we feel distant from this team, like that we don't feel connected to this team as we have to the teams in the past. But they still bring us joy. Like, they still make us happy when they have moments like this. Like, even in, like, I can think back to the 4-4 draw against City earlier in the year. That match still made me happy because I know that team played well. We didn't win like we did today, but they played with so much heart and so much passion that game that they showed that they cared, that what they can do. And they did that exact same thing today. They showed what they can do, that the potential is there. They just need somebody to guide them. 90% of people think Poch is not the right person. I'm with the 90%. I don't think Poch is the right person to guide them, to lead them in the direction that they need to go. I do think there's a lot of potential there, but potential doesn't win you trophies. You've got to put it together. You've got to do everything. There's still, I think, some missing pieces. I don't think our defense is up to par with what it needs to be. But I think there's a lot of pieces there that are good, that can come good. And just let's enjoy this tonight, Chelsea fans. Let's enjoy the way that this team played today. Let's just enjoy it, guys. Drink you a pint, drink you a glass of whiskey tonight, tomorrow. Enjoy this for, Friday. Enjoy this before we have to play Sheffield this weekend, before we have to go there, and who knows what's going to happen at Sheffield on Sunday. Who knows? Maybe we win, maybe we lose. Who knows? Who cares? Let's enjoy this moment that we have right now. Enjoy it. This is a late night episode. A lot of our over the pond friends, y'all won't get this until tomorrow morning. Wake up, go to work, enjoy work, get off work, and have a pint and lift one up for Chelsea, because this could, I'm not saying it is, this has the potential to be a jumping off point for this team. I feel like we've said this several times this year, that this match could be, the jumping off point for this team. But with the way that they responded, with the way that the camaraderie that was shown after the match between the players, the fact that Poch went and cheered the fans after the match, that might be the biggest takeaway from this match that nobody's going to talk about. The fact that Poch went and cheered the fans, clapped the fans. That's huge. That is a huge step in him being accepted. It has taken him this long to truly show this emotion on the pitch, to truly show that maybe he does care slightly about Chelsea, that maybe there is something in there that he can figure something out. I don't think he will. Whatever. I don't think he'll win. I mean, I don't think he'll get it over. I don't think I don't think he has what it takes. But maybe he does. Maybe he does. I don't know. Maybe this is the jumping off point. Let's just hope. Let's be positive tonight, guys. I'm trying. This is it's new times. Let's just be positive. Let's have a good run. Let's bring some good luck. Positive vibes only. Let's drink one to the boys. Shout out Chelsea for being who you are, for making us suffer, for giving us heart attacks, but then bringing us joy at the same time. Up the Blues. Remember, follow us, guys. Red White Blues FC. We're there on X, YouTube, wherever your social media is. iTunes, Spotify. Catch us there. Until next week, guys. Catch you guys on the flip side.